put his team in great position.
By the way, it is on this day 11 years ago he had a walk-off in the division series against the Tigers. Stephen Vogt then playing for the Oakland Athletics. Another former Oakland A's catcher, A.J. Hinch. He's going to be pushing the buttons here today. It's going to be a fun series. So many moves and matchups. Here is A.J. Hinch's starting lineup. The batting order brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, reminding you to get this season's flu and COVID-19 vaccines. Parker Meadows leads off. Kerry Carpenter, then Matt Vierling. In the middle, it's Riley Green, Colt Keith, and Spencer Torkelson. Bottom three in Hinch's order: Zach McKinstry, Trey Sweeney, and Jake Rogers. And a lot of new names that have already thrived in the postseason as the Tigers take down the Astros in 2. And now they get to the division series and face Tanner Bibee. And it is the 5th time that Bibee has pitched against the Tigers this season.
Well, you know what, PA? 2 weeks into the season, their ace, Shane Bieber, goes down. Someone has to step up, and that has been Tanner. You see those numbers right there. He's had a great year, logged a lot of innings. He's done a good job. He's going to come with that fastball about mid-90s. But his pitch, you're going to see, is the slider as the day goes on. Hitter's only batting 152 off it. You see the changeup right there, and then, of course, the big curveball for him. And catching him today is going to be Bo Naylor, of course, behind the plate. Jose Ramirez, Rocchio at short, Jimenez at second, Platinum Gold Glove winner, Josh Naylor at first base. And going around, Stephen Kwan, who was out quite a bit the second half, but back now. Lane Thomas and John Kinsey Noel, who BA they call Big Christmas, getting the start in right field.
Love that. Great nickname. Adam Beck gets a call behind the plate, his very first division series. Congratulations to Adam. That's Ramon de Jesus at first base. Jim Wolf is the second base umpire, 7th DS. Todd Tishner's the crew chief. If we need a review, he'll be the man to administer that. Chad Fairchild in left, Nick Marley in right. It is a 6-man umpiring crew. You add 2 umpires for the postseason. And all the pieces in place on this picture-perfect Saturday afternoon in Cleveland, Ohio. Just about 2 hours separating these two cities drive time. This is going to be a fascinating series with matchups and moves and chaos and managers getting in the middle of every bit of these moments here in this best of 5.
And as A.J. Hinch tells you, BA, they haven't seen us since the deadline, and we are a completely different team. So he said, going to be a lot of new matchups for both teams.
Stephen Vogt said the same, and there is a lot of scouting work that had to be done for the Guardians to get used to some of these new players. We'll introduce you as we go. We're ready for baseball. Adam Beck says play ball. Tanner Bibee's first pitch is swung on and fouled back by Parker Meadows, and away we go. .68 degrees, our game time temperature. Slight breeze is blowing throughout the ballpark, but a relatively calm day. Parker Meadows had a home run in that wild card series against Houston. 9 homers in the regular season, had 28 runs batted in. A lightning fast leadoff hitter against right-handed pitching. And Meadows takes a ball, close pitch, crowds into it early. They want all those calls for Tanner Bibee. You can't blame them.
A good call here, though, off the plate a little bit, as you see, just inside the white line.
2-2 the count. Cleveland has been sitting on their bye week while the wild card series has been played. There's a lot of discussion about whether that's hurtful or helpful, the rest versus rust argument. Stephen Vogt said we've turned that into a positive. We needed time to heal up. And they finally get a chance to play baseball. It's been exactly a week since they last played, and this game starts with a strikeout. Changeup from Bibee. Meadows is gone, and a K to get us going here this afternoon.
Well, great pitch right here. A lot of fastballs off the plate, outside, and then he comes back with his changeup right here to Meadows. Looks the exact same, of course, 10 miles per hour less, and gets him to strike out and off to a good start.
Good start for Bibee, now facing Kerry Carpenter. Carpenter, the Tigers' designated hitter today. He'll get all the at-bats against the right-handed pitching. Won't see him against lefties. He kills right-handers, though. His OPS this year, .932 this season. Had 18 home runs and 57 driven in.
Yeah, but you said it. Small sample size from the left side. 107 against lefties this year, 305 against righties. So, as A.J. Hinch said, he's here to do one thing, and of course, that is crush right-handed pitching.
Put him in a position to succeed. That's what you hear a lot from both of these organizations. Bybee in a 1-1 count, deals, and a swing and a miss. Carpenter trying to send one to the seats early. There's a lot of big swings in this Tigers lineup. Two-strike pitch, misses. 97. You know Bybee is amped up, Frenchie, and that's one of the keys for him to kind of put the governor on a little bit. You don't want him up there letting it all fly, and if you see him in that 98, 97, 98 mile an hour range, he may be getting a little out of his mechanics, and that one rolls in at a more comfortable 95 mile an hour pace.
But you're seeing where he's missing right now. It's up in the zone, which to me exactly what you're saying, overthrowing, trying to get going too much.
3-2 the count on Carpenter.
And I think that's the thing early on to see. You know, we've seen some big swings so far from these first two Tigers. As you each going up each round, BA, I know they're young. We say it, you know, do they really know where they're at? But you got to believe at some point they're going to feel a little bit of that being in this big situation.
Another payoff pitch. And that ball's lined into center field and a base hit. Kerry Carpenter with the first hit of this division series, a 7-pitch battle. And the Tigers have a man on with one away in the first.
That was a good piece of hitting here. That was a curveball right there. So he's seen a lot of those high velocity fastballs, and you see that he hits this one right back up the middle. Get the Tigers going.
Bybee is excellent holding runners. He's an excellent fielder from the mound as well. Led the American League in pickoffs this year. See how eager they will be with Matt Vierling at the plate for Detroit. Vierling had been the only player with postseason experience prior to the 2 games in Houston for Detroit. 16 games with the Phillies a couple of years ago.
Well, it was funny talking to him yesterday. He was kind of joking, BA, that these guys look at me like I'm some 10-year veteran because the fact that I played in the postseason 2 years ago. Most of these other guys were in single A 2 years ago.
And a Jeff Francoeur doppelganger at some point.
Yeah, he's a good-looking guy, isn't he?
I like the doppelganger note. Although when you guys stood next to each other yesterday, I didn't really see it.
No.
But he's had a Jeff Francoeur comp on him from the time he signed his contract.
He's a good-looking fella.
Yeah. Is that all it is? 1-2 the count. Bybee's been at a 2-strike count to the first 3 hitters. Two and 2. 4 teams left in the American League. 3 of them are from the American League Central, a division that has been dogged for years as one of the worst divisions in the game. That is not the case this season. Close play over at first base. First disengagement for Bybee. Remember, you get 2. If you throw over a 3rd time, you have to record an out, or else it's a balk. Kerry Carpenter, a 1-out single. He's at first. 2-2 the count. And Vierling late on it, fouls it away.
Well, you can see Bybee really trying to get that fastball in on the hands, not let him get extended. And you wonder, of course, his out pitch is that slider. So at some point, because of that, you wonder if he's going to try to get him to chase here on the slider on the outside part of the plate.
Vierling on the ground. Got a easy little hop. And the Gold Glover Jimenez makes a play for out number 2. 2 outs, first inning. Tanner Bybee, his 5th start against the Tigers this year. For more on him, we check in with Lauren Jabbar. Lauren?
BA, I talked to him yesterday and asked, have you dreamt of this moment your whole life? He said, well, as a kid, you're in your backyard. It's 3-2, 2 outs, World Series on the line. He said he's never thought, though, about throwing in the playoffs, and it's never crossed his mind of being that guy, but he's so grateful for this opportunity, and he just wants to go out there, play loose, play free, and help his team get a win.
High fly ball, foul. Thank you, Lauren. And it's interesting when you get all the chatter about Bybee. He walked up to Stephen Vogt, according to his manager prior to the season, says, I want to challenge Shane Bieber for this ace role. And Stephen Vogt says, hey, you go. That's not going to happen, but you go, man. He likes the mentality. And he stepped in beautifully since Bieber went down. It's a shame that the Guardians lost their former Cy Young Award winner after just 2 games. Bybee has been excellent for him, and he's got another Tiger hitter at a 2-strike count, Riley Green. There's Bieber. Got a big ovation when he was introduced.
Yeah, well deserved, too.
Riley Green, the Tigers all-star, down 0-2.
That's tough. I'm telling you, your first playoff game like this, BA, you got to try to control your emotions, but 40,000 get going crazy right here, man. It's easy to try to rear back.
One-two pitch. Green takes a ball high, and the fastball's missing up, and not in a chase position at this point for Bybee. Struck out his first hitter, gave up a 1-out single, and then Veerling grounded out. Runner at second, 2 away. 2-2 the count on Riley Green. Ooh, big swing on a 2-strike pitch. Count stays 2-2. The Naylor brothers, Bo and Josh, got to be a thrill for them to be not only playing together on a big league field, but now to be in a postseason together. Bo punches in the signs. Bybee's ready. Another 2-2. Pitch clock goes all the way down to 1, and that one hits Green. So send Carpenter back to second. That hit Riley Green. And first and second now for the Tigers with 2 outs. And while Bybee has been in a 2-strike count to each of the first 4 hitters, he is in some trouble now, and Carl Willis, the pitching coach, making his first appearance of the series.
Well, look, Riley Green crushes fastballs. Not a great breaking ball pitcher, so you can see Bybee trying to get him right there, and Riley Green, you can see him point, got me on the foot there, and I think more than anything, this is just to calm you down right here, right? I think he sees, we've seen, what, 4 or 5 heaters way up top, so I think he's just trying to calm him down.
Want some MLB trivia? Just ask Siri, what's the longest home run in MLB history?
First trip to the mound comes in the first inning. The great Carl Willis, one of the best pitching coaches in the major leagues for a long time. He was actually on the roster of the 1984 Tigers. He got traded that year, but of course the '84 Tigers, World Series champions. He was a rookie.
Got a ring.
Wasn't around long.
Got a ring. That's all that matters.
Pulled up some sod from Tiger Stadium back in those days. So here's Colt Keith now with 2 on. 2 outs in the first. Keith on the first pitch, a pop-up. And that one is headed right down the netting. Just out of the reach of Ramirez. Hit the netting about halfway down. Makes it a dead ball. No balls and a strike.
Yeah, interesting here. Behind the plate, probably as deep of a pass ball as you're going to get right here. But as you get going down the lines, it squeezes quick. So if you're at third or first, you got to go back a little bit. Not much room in foul territory.
You played a lot of games here in your days in the AL Central with the Royals. First and second, 2 outs. And let's see what Bybee has for Keith. 0-1. Bybee is not hitting with his fastball right now. He's thrown 11 of them. only 4 strikes with the fastball in his first inning. On the flip side, he's 7 for 7 on the slider. 1-1. Tigers have this crowd quiet, and a shot to left field. Kwan, the Gold Glover, right there, and that's the inning. Cole hit it hard, but right at Stephen Kwan. Side retired. Bybee Strands 2. We are off and running. Game 1 of the AL. Or Strand 2 in the first. Now Stephen Vogt and the Guardians with Stephen Kwan, David Fry, Jose Ramirez to start it. Then Josh Naylor, Lane Thomas, Andres Jimenez with John Kinsey, Noel, Bo Naylor, and Brian Rocchio rounding out the starting 9. And Stephen Kwan is back after a back injury. Shut him down for 11 days near the end of the year. Facing the opener, Tyler Holton. Second consecutive start for Tyler Holton. He opened the game, game 2 Wednesday against Houston. And Kwan rifles one to right field. That is going to be off the top of the wall. Kwan into second base with a double. And if there was any wonder if Kwan's timing and rhythm was off, he just answered that question.
Well, let me tell you, the last 2 months for a guy that was so good the first half has really struggled close to All-Star break. Now dealing with some injuries. But we even talked to Stephen Vogt about it. You know, this is a guy to me that was a key series. Look at that. That ball, fastball from Holton, was in on the hands. And he pulled his hands in here and missed a home run by about a foot. Good start for the Guardians.
Frenchie, he has 8 plate appearances in the last 7 weeks.
Yep.
Came back for 2 games. And a jolt to start this one. First ball swinging. David Fry fouls one back our way.
Man, that was close.
By the way, Frenchie, we're in perfect foul ball territory here.
Thought I was ready for that one.
What a scene this is. Great booth, great broadcasters, both of these teams. We love coming to Cleveland and Progressive Field. It's one of the gems. Been around since 1994, and it still shines. That is Reese Olson, so he's going to be the bulk pitcher. He's normally a starter, and he's the guy that will be coming in at some point early for Tyler Holton.
Well, interesting enough, Holton got the start because of that man that just hit a double right there. Wanted that left-handed matchup, wanted to get that first out. Look, Holton, as you said, did it in game 2, 1, 2, 3. In fact, this second half, he's had a .83 ERA, been almost unhittable.
Kwan at second, Fry with a swing and a miss.
That's that pitch. That's his cutter right there. So tough. Not only lefties, but the righties, bearing in on those hitters' hands. I'm out.
Those around the Tigers say that Holton has been their pitching MVP. Such a versatile pitcher. His second opening bid in the postseason, back-to-back games. He did it 9 times in the regular season. He's also pitching those late leverage roles as well as Fry rips one foul into the screen. He's one of those pitchers that has come out of nowhere, Tyler Holton. Had a 7+ ERA in AAA last season, but he's blossomed as a major leaguer. Payoff pitch to Fry. Fry fouls it away. He's got a good battle going here.
The last 2 years, even in the minor leagues for Detroit, BA, they kind of wanted these pen guys to not really have any roles. Everybody can kind of pitch when they want to. They want to have that versatility for these guys. And of course, the last 2 months, it's why a big reason they've been on this run.
Guardians want to stack that pitch count as fast as they can. An 8-pitch battle here as Fry takes ball 4. And the Guardians open with a double and a walk. 2 on, nobody out. As if they know what's coming, because their superstar Jose Ramirez steps in.
I know we talked about him on the open, BA, but one of the most underappreciated players in this game. And I think you said it best yesterday. He could walk down the streets of New York. People wouldn't know who he is. But here in Cleveland, man, he is Cleveland.
Been a great player for a long time. Monster year this year, maybe the best of his career. 39 home runs this season, 118 runs batted in. And Frenchie, this is where he thrives, with runners in scoring position.
326 on the year with a 991 OPS. Loves these moments.
Big swing and a miss.
Good change up there. But I think as you're going, we looked at kind of these matchups, right? This is a big chess matchup, but if they get runners on all series in front of Jose Ramirez, it is going to be tough for the Tigers to hold this offense down.
Tyler Holden in immediate trouble here in the first inning as Ramirez looks to do damage. He fouls it away. That one just boring in on his hands. That cut fastball that Holton throws. Ramirez, a switch hitter, tied for 4th in homers in the AL. Also had 41 steals. He was very close to a 40-40-40 season this year. Fouls it back. Count stays at 2-2.
If you remember, he had one more game, and of course they got rained out against the Astros on Sunday. And yes, he had to get a home run and a double, but again, you're talking about a special player.
Yeah, they did not play game 162 last Sunday. It's been a calendar week. And that one just missed. Yeah. You'll notice as we go along, Jake Rogers, the Tiger catcher, is excellent. He makes a lot of borderline pitches look like strikes. That one had a chance to be a strike. 3-2. Ramirez on the ground. That's fair. And it hits the bag and bounces down the left field line. Kwan is in. Fry to third. An RBI double for Jose Ramirez. 1-0 Guardians. Score that as an error.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it hit over the bag. Watch this right here.
Oh, yeah,
it
right.
just hopped on him.
I thought it hit the bag and bounced up, but no, it ate up McKinstry.
It looked like it, but it did. You know, and you think about it, McKinstry made that unbelievable play against the Astros, and this one just kind of got left on him.
So at E5, no hit, no RBIs. Josh Naylor cuts it loose on the first pitch. That ball had so much top spin going down the line.
That's why, part of me, man, that's a tough E5.
I agree. McKinstry would tell you he should have made that play. He's an excellent defensive third baseman. Second and third, infield in already. Josh Naylor. He's part of the big three of the Guardians: Kwan, Ramirez, and Josh Naylor. He's coming off a great year himself. 31 home runs, 108 driven in. Naylor rolls one through, a base hit. Coming in to score is Fry. Ramirez froze at second. He'll stop at third. 2-0 Guardians. Josh Naylor with an RBI single.
Yeah, that's going to be it. I mean, this is one of those, he made his pitch, BA. He got him to just roll over, but because he brought that infield in, as you see that breaking pitch is off the plate. Holmes going to exit this game. Look at this. You got an easy rollover ground ball, but
the opener does not work here today. No outs recorded. First and third, 2 runs are in. And here comes Reese Olson out of the Tigers bullpen in game 1 in the first inning. Field game 1 of this best-of-5 division series, and A.J. Hinch already into his bullpen. He goes with his starter, Reese Olson, who now comes in out of the pen. First time he's pitched out of relief in 2024.
And you think about it, this couldn't have got any worse start for the Tigers. At first and second, hit a ball hard. Olson has never inherited a runner in his career.
And he's got 2 of them right here as Lane Thomas turns on one. Deep into left. There she goes. Lane Thomas, a 3-run blast. Five to nothing Cleveland before there is an out recorded in this game.
Wow. First pitch slider. 106 off the bat, 394, and for Lane, his first career postseason home run. Trade acquisition for the Guardians. Well, in years past, we've seen teams that have this 5-6 days not get off to a good start.
Oh, from Mascam.
He knew that one.
Don't adjust your sets. That is the smoke from the pyro that went off in front of our cameras out there. And they set him off early here today. Andres Jimenez. Tigers still looking for their first out. Lane Thomas. Big pickup at the trade deadline coming from the Nationals. Getting started with a double by Kwan off the wall. There was a walk, an error. Naylor with an RBI single, Josh Naylor, and then Thomas a 3-run homer. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count. Another tapper, and Olsen can't get it, and a flip to the back, not in time. Jimenez flying down the line, beats it out. An infield hit.
Six batters now, still no out. You see, this is a ball that just got. And even if Torkelson catches that ball, I think Jimenez beats it out to first. It would have been bang bang, but oh yeah, he'd have been safe.
Jimenez can really run. Put the pressure on the D, and now A.J. Hinch is coming out with the athletic trainer, which would tell you there's some sort of illness or injury concern here with Olsen.
He's shaking his head saying, I'm fine. I don't know if they thought they saw something.
He missed 2 months with a shoulder injury, had just 3 starts once he came back. Kind of went after that batted ball by Jimenez a little gingerly. He's going to have to take a few tosses here to prove that he's good enough to continue on here. Just couldn't quite get there. Awkward.
Yeah. You know, interesting enough, BA, this opener has worked so well for the Tigers the last 2 months. Talking to A.J. Hinch yesterday, he kept saying, we can control the first batter our guy faces. So who did he want? He wanted Holton facing Kwan, and he said, if we get that first out, everything goes well. Kwan hit the double, and it has just kind of.
John Kinsey Noel on the first pitch, rolls one over to third base. And there is the first out of the inning for the Tigers. Noel, a 5-3 grounder, does advance Jimenez to second base. A.J. Hinch is trying to disrupt. I mean, for 100+ years, getting the first out has been the theme in baseball. Get the lead man. But the Tigers and a number of other teams around the game doing that with matchups, trying to give the best opportunity to get that first out. And it works until it doesn't. First ball swinging, Bo Naylor. So 2 pitches. There are 2 outs now. Jimenez has made his way to third base.
You know, Lane Thomas's home run was on the first pitch too, BA. You can see this Guardians lineup coming out. You know, we talk about the Tigers throwing strikes. They like to get ahead, and you can see the Guardians. They have this approach to be aggressive early in the zone.
Well, it took 25 pitches to even record the first out. And then 2 outs now on the last 2 pitches for Reese Olson as Brian Rocchio, the number 9 hitter. Talented defensive shortstop of the Guardians. 5 runs in for Cleveland. Lane Thomas, a big 3-run home run in the first. One he'll never forget.
And you want to talk about calming down your pitcher. We saw Tanner Bybee a little amped up in that first inning. You get a 5-0 lead. You would think if you're a Guardians fan, you're like the fact he come out and maybe be a little more under control.
Runner at third, the 2-0, and that's inside, ball 3. Every team that plays the Guardians, they know it's a race to the 6th inning, because if you do not have a lead in the 6th inning, it is pretty much lights out. They boast the best bullpen in the majors. And they boast one of the best bullpens we've seen in a long time in the major leagues. And Emmanuel Clase, the closer for Cleveland, is at the top of the food chain among big league closers. But he's not the only one. Rocchio takes a strike. Late call back there from Adam Beck, home plate umpire.
That was kind of late. He was taking it off, got the inner part, but I agree. Clase for this Cleveland bullpen, BA, is kind of the guy everyone talks about. As you see, he got away with one there. Olsen did. That pitch was in, but they have 3-4 guys leading up to him that I think a lot of teams would possibly use as their closer. So again, like you said, you get too far behind 5-6 innings in, it is tough to beat this team.
2 outs, 3-2 the count now. Runner at third.
Guardians a perfect 82-0 when leading after the 8th inning, so that should tell a lot right there.
Mascam. 3-2. Fouls it away. Another long battle here. Brian Rocchio, 9th batter of the inning. 4 hits, a walk, and an error in this inning. And Reese Olson, 2nd-year pitcher in the big leagues, trying to calm the waters. As Rocchio, a high fly ball to right, and Veerling with just enough room to make the catch to end the inning. Olson comes on, settles it down, but Lane Thomas caps off a 5-run frame. Started with Kwan, a 5 spot in the first. Guardians Saturday afternoon. The Guardians.
Yeah, guarding the bridge, man.
Guardians with this moniker in their 3rd year as the Guardians. They were the Indians from 1915 to 2021. And what a start they are off to today. 5-0. Tanner Bybee back out for his 2nd inning, facing Spencer Torkelson.
Still see, you know, Bybee's looking at the umpire, but those balls are up in the zone. You know, he's continued to live high, and it's carried over here to the 2nd.
Misfired on a number of fastballs in the 1st inning. And he misses with that one as well. 3 balls, no strikes. There is a little pressure for a pitcher pitching in a game like this. Of course, you'd rather have the runs, but there is a little bit of inherent pressure when you've been staked to a 5-0 lead. That one does catch the zone, and it's 3-1.
Well, and he's been Cleveland's ace, right? Whereas Detroit, they have their ace going on Monday. So when you looked on paper, BA, this was kind of an important game. To me, more important for the Guardians than it was for the Tigers.
Both teams thin in their rotation. They trust their aces. Bybee for the Guardians gets the ball today, and then once again game 4. That'll be on regular rest because of the off days. There's an off day tomorrow in this series. Game 2 is Monday, then another off day, game 3 in Detroit. There's a strikeout, comes all the way back down 3-0. Rides that fastball right by Torkelson. And the 2nd strikeout for Bybee.
Well, and you can see right there, Torkelson knew what was coming. I mean, he showed you he's going to throw you that fastball, and he was able on 3-1 and 3-2, as you see, just beat him to the spot. Put it right by him.
One away. Here is Zach McKinstry. McKinstry getting to start at 3rd base, and was charged with an error on that batted ball by Ramirez. Tough error for McKinstry. We were kind of talking about that between innings. I mean, that was a play that was certainly out of the ordinary. High drive opposite field, deep into left center, and this is going to be down, a base hit. Thomas lost it in the sun, and McKinstry will roll into 2nd base with a double. I'm out.
You know, BA, you said it. I couldn't tell if the ball was going to hit off the wall that Thomas slowed down, but I agree. He could not see this ball because he was in a spot to make this play. Look at him right here. He was not far, unless he just heard Kwan's footsteps and thought maybe he's going to get the ball. But that's a ball he can catch. Both these two guys, plus outfielders.
Much easier play for Kwon just because of the position of the sun right now. Center fielder staring right into that sun up above the home plate grandstand. You get into the fall sun. I mean, it's a tough,
yeah, you can see
center
right
field
there.
shining off his sunglasses right there. Once he put his head down to check on Kwon, he never picked up the baseball again. Runner at second for Trey Sweeney.
I'm not so sure at the very end right there. I'm not a great lip reader, but it was almost like he whispered or said, I can't see it. Because he's usually a guy that goes after the ball. Both these guys right here.
Excellent outfield defense in left field and center field. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. McKinstry at second. Sweeney fouls it away. It's been a big pickup for the Tigers. Their season kind of changed. Not that he is the sole reason, but he's part of the reason. Javi Baez was injured. Their high-priced shortstop out for the rest of the season. Sweeney came from the Dodgers in the Jack Flaherty trade. Flaherty went to LA and thrived there. Sweeney made his major league debut August 16th, and that's right about the time the Tigers lit the candle. An amazing comeback to even get in the postseason. Sweeney strikes out, pulled the string on him, a changeup from Bybee. Third K for Bybee, second out of the second inning.
Well, as you see here, what a beautiful changeup. You know, you get that fastball, of course, setting it up. But for him, we saw him do it with Meadows to start the game. And now same thing here. Gets them thinking fastball and pulls that string. What a great angle right here, huh?
Way out in front of it. Good pitch. 2 outs. Here's Jake Rogers.
I'm out. Is this not one of the best mustaches in baseball right
Gotta
here?
be.
I mean, you talk about a full mustache.
Right out of the Old West. Feel like he could be on a wanted poster with a high price reward.
And a cowboy with a Marlboro Red.
Lauren Jabbar has been admiring the mustache of Rogers.
I told him yesterday it looks very voluptuous. He said, I haven't heard that before. I've heard full, but he actually shaves it after every season. I said, do you ever trim it? He said, no, it gets in food and it gets in my mouth a lot. But you know what? You got to rock the look throughout the season.
It works. It's going to be his thing.
Voluptuous, huh?
It's a good word. Strong word. Good to have
that one getting in the broadcast today.
Lauren Jabbar joining us. Her first postseason.
Yes.
She's been with us a couple of years at TNT Sports. Does a great job on all the events she covers, including the Olympics. So it's great to have Lauren Jabbar with us all postseason long. 2 balls and a strike to count, 2 outs. McKinstry, the runner at second base. Rogers, a foul ball. Rogers didn't hit much in the regular season, just a 197 hitter. He's got occasional pop though. 10 homers, 36 RBIs, had a couple of hits in the Astros series and an RBI.
Yeah, big pull power. Looking to pull right here. You saw that on that last pitch with that slider off the plate.
2-2. Bybee ready. And he got him to chase. Bybee with a strikeout on the slider. He strikes out all 3 in the second inning. Works around a double, a Sun double. Tanner Bybee, first time through the batting order. 4 Ks, no run. Time that's happened in the first inning of a postseason game. You go back to the division series of '97. Sandy Alomar Jr.'s 1997 Cleveland Indians back then. The team that went to the World Series, won the pennant. Sandy was an all-star that year and many other years.
Had a lot of all-stars on that team.
Lost to the Marlins in the World Series. Reese Olson back on the mound, so he'll start a clean inning here. Allowed the 2 inherited runners to score, gave up the 3-run homer to Thomas. Stephen Kwan starts his second inning. Guardians bring 9 to the plate in the first. 5 runs, 4 earned at this point. 4 runs, 3 earned against Tyler Holton. Tyler Holton did not record an out, the opener. And Olson giving up 2 hits, a couple of ground outs and a fly out as Kwan pulls it foul.
Yeah, you look at the first half, second half. Kwan, unbelievable first half, 919 OPS, second half, 618. But as you said, had been a few injuries, gone to the IL twice. So, as you said, not many at-bats coming, but so far it looks pretty good.
Oh! He roped a double off the wall in right field. First time up. National championship winner at Oregon State in his college days. What a team they had at Oregon State with Adley Rutschman and Trevor Larnach, Nick Madrigal. He's been a winner wherever he's been, and Kwan is aboard. 2 trips to the plate for Kwan. He's on base twice. And a lead man on in the 2nd inning for Cleveland. Let's take a look at our upcoming postseason schedule. This is the first of a quadruple header of playoff baseball. Our friends at Fox will take over next. Mets and Phillies. We're back on TBS and Max with Royals, Yankees, and then Padres, Dodgers. What a series that's going to be. That's at 8:30 Eastern tonight on FS1. Mets and Phillies will have Zach Wheeler and Kodai Senga. Michael Wacha, Garrett Cole will be the matchup in the Royals, Yanks, and Dylan Cease and Yoshi Yamamoto as that one is banged through by David Fry. First 2 batters reach once again for the Guards.
Again, we talked about it. 2nd straight inning already that Jose Ramirez has came up now 1st and 2nd. So this is what the Guardians, this is their plan for success. And as I said, if they continue to do this, it could be a deep playoff run.
Switch hitter Ramirez turns around, hits left-handed. I would say the official scoring on his first trip to the plate is an E5. Certainly would be one they would take a look at. Very difficult play at third. But Ramirez putting the ball in play with 2 outs and 2 strikes, I should say. Dangerous from both sides, Ramirez. Kwan and Fry on the bags, nobody out.
Now, what he does so well, BA, both sides really, he doesn't chase much. When you look at 39 home runs, go look at most guys, 150, 160 strikeouts, only 82 for Jose this year. So great discipline.
Olson deals it, and in the air, center field. Back on it is Parker Meadows. He's got it. Both runners tag. Only Kwan will advance. Good throw that comes into second base. Productive out for Ramirez. And now it's 1st and 3rd for Cleveland with 1 out.
Yeah, good job by Meadows, knowing you're too deep back there in left center, and he goes to second. You keep that double play in order. You got a guy in Josh Naylor coming up who you have the ability to get that. So smart play there.
Reese Olson is, when he's right, a pitcher that gets a lot of ground balls. Excellent sinker baller is Josh Naylor, who drove in the first run officially, the first RBI single in that 1st inning. Nice pick back there by Rogers.
Yeah, you can see up the middle, double play depth too. So knowing they get a ground ball right here, they got that opportunity.
Big RBI man at the plate, Josh Naylor. Second only to Ramirez this year for the Guardians. Big swing and a miss.
He doesn't get cheated, does he?
It's a magic number, those 100 RBIs. There were only 16 players that drove at 100 RBIs this year. Guardians have 2 of them. Naylor also hit 31 home runs. And a swing and a miss. That one had some bite to it, a changeup. Took a little something off it.
Trying to get him to either swing and miss like that, or as you said, BA, get that ground ball rollover right here to try to get a double play and get out of this inning.
Olson has pitched twice this year against Cleveland, both times against Bybee, and he pitched well in each occasion. He was the winning pitcher against Bybee on July 10th. Familiar with this lineup. And a swing and a miss. Defensive hack by Naylor. Another changeup and a good one. Naylor strikes out. First strikeout for Olson.
You said it. Look, that's just a front door changeup there. And got him way out in front. You can see the crowd giving Lane Thomas a nice hand as he comes up with that 3-run homer back in the first.
He greeted Olson rudely on the first pitch he saw. I mean, Lane Thomas is a vet. He knows that a pitcher making his postseason debut. He jumped on him right away. First pitch, launched it into the bleachers in left field. First and third. And a little half swing, he goes.
Well, if you look at Lane Thomas's number when he came over BA this year, actually they're down compared to what he did in Washington. But if you look, he had a really good September. Rough August, but has come on, and it's carried over here.
Runner goes. They'll let him run. Pitches a ball. Stolen base for Fry.
1-2.
Second and third for the Guardians now. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count. Olson's had a lot better finish on his pitches in this second inning. Just like that, nasty. Great changeup. Boy, he's got it going now. Back-to-back strikeouts with 2 on. Gets Naylor and Thomas. 5-0 Guardians. Here come the Tigers. Downtown Cleveland on a Saturday afternoon. Brian Anderson with Jeff Francoeur, Lauren Jabara with you. Our producer Jeff Randolph, director Matt Lipp. First game of a best-of-5 division series between these division rivals. Parker Meadows leads off for Detroit. Third inning, 5-0 Cleveland. They scored 5 runs before there was an out recorded in the first inning.
And you talk about Parker Meadows, what a turnaround compared to the first half. Got sent down for 2 months and had to really kind of work a hitch in his swing, get it out. And I credit Detroit. They left him down there for a while to continue to develop that. And since then, he's come back and been incredible for the Tigers.
Hit a booming home run in Houston. Tigers swept the Astros in 2 games. They wrapped that up Wednesday with a dramatic victory, using 7 pitchers to get to the finish line against the Astros, knocking Houston out. This incredible run for the Astros. That's a pop-up. Ramirez wants it. And there's out number 1. Send it down to Lauren Jabara. What do you have, Lauren?
Frenchie, you talked about how he went down to AAA for a little while. I talked to him about it. He said, look, I knew I had it in me the whole time. It's just such a long season. But his mantra all year and his whole career has been trust the process. And he said having his brother come up in the minors has helped a lot, too. And just knowing this game is such a roller coaster, he's like, I'm just trying to enjoy every single moment and especially soak up every single moment so far that they've had in this postseason run. Agreed,
Lauren. And for him, when he comes back out here, you want to talk about being relaxed. You were in AAA for 2 months. You get your opportunity. You said it. He scored the only run. He hit the home run off Hunter Brown, who was almost unhittable for Houston. So it's done a nice job for Detroit at the top.
I saw those circles on his neck. That is physical therapy process. He kind of tweaked his neck on that great catch up against the wall in Houston, and it's been bothering him a little bit. Haven't had a whole lot of recovery time, but it does leave a nice
eyesore.
Little mark.
It's an eyesore.
There's 4 of them too. Kerry Carpenter down to the count 0-2 to Tanner Bybee. 1 away, 3rd inning. And Carpenter jumps out of the way. Carpenter had a single in the first. There's been 2 Tigers hits thus far. McKinstry doubled. That came last inning. Carpenter was left stranded at second base in the first inning. Tigers down 5-0, hoping for a jolt here. And a swing and a miss. Bybee picks up strikeout number 5 and a fastball right by Carpenter.
Just beat him to the spot, and I think it's because of his ability to throw that changeup and slider down in the zone right here. You can see just beats him. I almost get the feeling, right, if you're those Tigers hitter right now, BA, you got to go. This 95's playing 97, 98. You got to get ready a little bit sooner.
Here's Matt Vierling. The numbers tell you that his fastball is somewhat hittable. That's the pitch. If you look at batting average against, the most damage is done, but he has to have the fastball to set up everything else. Ground ball out to second base. Jimenez, he's a vacuum out there, and he makes a play, and that's a 3 up, 3 down, 10-pitch inning for Tanner Bybee. American League Division Series is presented by Booking.com. Lane Thomas, first pitch he saw, his first ever postseason home run, a 3-run blast in the first, capped off a 5-run inning for the Guardians. Reese Olson back on the mound. Play in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Olson working around 2 runners last inning, had a walk and a single to start the inning, and then got through Ramirez, Naylor, and Thomas to get out of the inning with no further damage. That one's in there. He's got a good sinker. He's shown a really good changeup thus far.
That's the pitch you got Thomas and Naylor on. Strike him out.
Poised young pitcher. That one right across the shoe tops. I think it hit him.
Yeah,
it did. Jimenez hit by a pitch. So Andres Jimenez is aboard for the 2nd time. Infield hit, now a hit by pitch.
Yeah, you can see a slider just overcooked and right on the front of the leg. Look at that, right below the kneecap.
Guardians have had their lead man on in each of the first 3 innings. John Kenzie Noel takes a ball. That is the primary goal for the Tiger pitchers, is to get that first man out. It's a goal for every pitcher for all time, but it is a major point of emphasis, to the point where they use their relievers based on the best matchup for the first batter of an inning, not necessarily for a key batter that comes up with runners on base. And the Guardians have a double, a walk, and a hit batter to start innings thus far today.
That's not a recipe for success, as you see the big fella here. I was sitting by Noel yesterday, walking by. It's like
Massive.
Willie Mopena.
Massive.
Remember him when he was here?
There's not many guys you look up to, like physically
Just
look up
thick,
to.
too. I mean, you're like, Big Christmas, man. What a great name.
Jimenez a threat to run. See how active the Guardians want to be with a running game. Noel takes a ball. He's burst onto the scene here, Noel. He's cooled since a brilliant start to his big league career. Certainly made a name for himself early. He's just 22 years of age. Jimenez started, then stopped. Noel breaks his bat.
Ran that sinker in on the hands right there, and that's one of the main things. You know, look, pretty good breaking ball hitter actually, Noel, but the fastballs now have started to beat him. I think they've kind of started to come in on him, right? They don't want him to get extended. You saw that burst swing he took. And like anything, you get a little pull happy, and then they throw that off speed stuff. So I think it's like anything. The league kind of adjusted back to him, and now he's got to make those adjustments.
Homered in his very first game in the big leagues. First game was June 26th. Had a home run against Baltimore on the road. Hit 3 homers in his first 8 games in the majors. I'm out. Reese Olson pitching in his 3rd inning. His first ever relief appearance this season. His first ever appearance in the postseason. And that's a called strike 3. Noel thought he had earned the walk. Instead, Adam Beck rings him up. And a strikeout for the first out of the third inning. It's the third K for Olsen.
And I think why Noel was more than anything shocked by this. You can see it had great run back over the plate, but we've had 3 or 4 balls at that bottom part of the zone today, and he's balled them all. So that's the first one you've seen that he's kind of expanded at that bottom part of the zone.
Reason to be upset. Here's Bo Naylor. First ball swinging, fouls it away.
And I think if you're Noel, you're saying too, BA, I'm taller than everybody else you've been balling. That should look even farther down. You can see he's frustrated.
Check on Jimenez. He's broken twice, has not followed through with it. First time there was a foul ball. Next time he looked like he didn't get a good jump, and he stopped. Jimenez reaching on a hit batter to start this inning.
.30 stolen bases during the season. One of the few guys that does run on this Guardians team. They were 13th in the AL in stolen bases this year. So
he and Ramirez, big stolen base numbers. Most of the stolen bases came from those two.
Yeah, sorry, they were second in the AL. I was looking at my Detroit notes, BA. Sorry.
You went on the wrong sheet.
I was.
We got a lot of cards.
Detroit does not run. Cleveland second in the AL in stolen bases this year.
Roll over ground ball, foul. What a thrill for the Naylor brothers to be in a postseason together. They've got a younger brother too, Miles. He's in the Oakland Athletics organization. Had a year in A-ball this year. Could have 3 Naylors in the big leagues at some point.
That's pretty good genes there in that family, huh?
Canadians.
I bet there's some good arguments too in that locker room between the brothers. You know that.
He's got the Alomar brothers he can have a chat with. Sandy and his brother Roberto, teammates. There's a swing and a miss. Naylor out in front of the changeup. So back-to-back strikeouts. 4 Ks for Olsen. And 2 gone for the Guardians in the third. MLB celebrates Hispanic Heritage Month by recognizing the contributions made to our great game by the Latino baseball community, past and present. Follow at Las Mayores and at MLB. Visit lasmayores.com for full coverage. Always a thrill to get the postseason started. Our 18th year on TBS covering postseason baseball. Dates back to 2007. Got a lot of great moments that we witnessed through the years. We alternate every year with our friends at Fox. An American League year this year for us at TBS. And later today, Yankees Royals in the other division series matchup with Bob Costas and Ron Darling and JP Morosi. Runner goes, sidearm throw to second. The tag is not in time. The former high school shortstop Jake Rogers still slings it like a shortstop. Made a pretty good throw, but Jimenez is in there.
And he got a pretty good jump. He had been timing him over there, and he finally, you can see, takes off. And you talk about a tough guy to throw out. That was bang bang, almost got him there, but you can see was able to get that left hand in.
So Rocchio a chance to drive and a run. Big bouncer to first, and Torkelson a race to the bag, just gets there ahead of Rocchio, and that will retire the side. Olsen has come on, settled it down a little bit after the 5-run first. Tigers coming to bat. We go to the 4th.
Well, 3 scoreless so far for Tanner Bybee, and let's take a look at what these hitters are facing. You can see coming out right there, the changeup, the four-seamer, and of course one on the slider. That fastball we talked about at first inning, BA, 11 total, only 3 strikes, way up in the zone. Since 14 total, 13 strikes for him, 4 of them swing and miss.
Yeah, Carl Willis made that mound visit in the first inning, and he has been locked in since. Just the 1 hit since that time. That was the Sun double off the bat of Zach McKinstry. Bybee looks sharp. 3 scoreless innings, 5 Ks. Riley Green, Colt Keith, Spencer Torkelson to lead the way for the Tigers. Riley Green, an all-star this year, had a great year. 24 homers, 74 driven in. A lot of new names with this Tigers ball club, but Green making a name for himself this season. Hit .262 during the regular year. One ball, 2 strikes. Bybee has been ahead of a lot of these Tiger hitters all day. Opposite field, base hit for Green. Muscles one into left field. And the Tigers have their lead man on aboard for the first time.
You see this right here, and you got to kind of cut this down. Look how he chokes up. You see Riley Green's choked up a little bit. You're getting beat by that fastball, especially to lead off an inning, and he's able to do it. Look, the Tigers right here, you'd love to score 4 or 5 if you're Detroit, but at the same time, BA, get a couple, get on that board, and start to kind of get yourself back in the game. That's the only way they're going to be able to do it.
Got a chip away after a 5-run first inning by Cleveland. You never want to give up 5 in the first. But if you're in that position, at least you have the long runway to try to come back. Colt Keith, plenty of pop at his bat. He lined out with 2 on in the first inning, hit it hard, but hit it right at Quan and left. Tigers' largest comeback in the regular season was 5 runs. They did that in a game against the Dodgers on July 13th. In that game, Gio Urshela with a walk-off homer in the 10th inning. And Urshela is part of the large group of veteran players that the Tigers parted ways with. In Urshela's case, he was released, ended up with the Braves in their postseason run. Guys like Javi Baez injured, making $25 million a year. Kenta Maeda, he was left off the playoff roster. Jack Flaherty traded. Still paying Miguel Cabrera, by the way.
Good for him.
Mark Canha, Shelby Miller, Andrew Chafin all show up on the current payroll of the Tigers. But of their active roster, their 26-man roster in the wild card series against Houston, their combined yearly salaries was shy of $19 million.
Less than Josh Hader.
Less than Josh Hader.
That was an incredible little stat they had.
Less than Josh Hader. Gave up the big 3 RBI double to Ibanez. 2-2 the count.
Well, and I remember thinking at the deadline, right, BA, sometime you got to keep some of these guys and build, right, when you do it. And you know, they went the opposite and allowed some of these young players the opportunity to come up here, and they've shined. And here they are.
Colt Keith at the plate, runner at first, takes one low, and Bybee missing with that big slider. First-year manager Stephen Vogt is an excellent player, always thought of as a future manager even in his playing days. Bybee deals, and it's ball 4. Long at bat, first 2 have reached here in the 4th. Tear down the empire from the inside out. Academy Award nominee Colin Farrell is the Penguin in the new HBO original limited series. It's Sundays, 9 p.m. Eastern, exclusively on Max. 2 on, nobody out. Here is Spencer Torkelson. On the ground, Ramirez backs up, plays a good hop, and the Guardians able to turn a double play. Andres Jimenez had that ball in and out of his glove in a flash. And a 5-4-3 double play. Runner goes to third, but 2 outs now.
And you just said it, how fast this turn was. I mean, you're talking about a platinum gold glove winner over there at second base. Look how fast he gets rid of that ball, and a strike over to Naylor and just gets him. And after kind of a rough start to this inning, 1 ball, you get 2 outs. Huge double play.
First ball swinging, McKinstry pulls it foul. Andres Jimenez this year, if you believe in the defensive metrics, a couple of the big ones are outs above average and defensive runs saved. Jimenez was first in outs above average in the American League, 20. He was first in the American League among second basemen in defensive runs saved with 21. Top of the heap. He'll win another Gold Glove this year. Roll over ground ball. Naylor's got it. Flips it to Bybee. And he works out of a jam. 2 on, nobody out. Torkelson's double play set him up. Gets McKinstry. Still a 0 by Wayfair's Way Day Sale. Going on through October 7th. Highest home batting average. 2 Guardians show up on that list. Stephen Kwan and Jose Ramirez. Good hitters all the way around. All-stars.
What do you tell Bobby Witt Jr. the game's not that easy?
Ooh. Different kind of hitter, huh? Kansas City. That ball's ripped into right center. Meadows races to it and makes a play for out number 1.
Tell you what, hit it to the wrong guy out there. Parker Meadows can go get it. He's a great athlete, great arm, and great baseball instincts. Made that play look easy.
A gazelle out in center field. Those long strides. First time today the Guardians have not had their lead man on. See that Tigers bullpen active. Is Ty Madden getting loose now? Wondering how long A.J. Hinch was going to ride here with Reese Olson. Remember, he missed 2 months with a shoulder injury, just 3 starts coming back. He never pitched more than 4 innings. And that was his last start of the regular season. So, yes, he's been a starter, but he's also not a guy that has been stretched back out as he was before he went down with the injury.
I don't think that 70-75 pitch is kind of that limit.
Defensive swing by Fry. You can see why the Tigers are so high on Reese Olson, though. He's got good stuff. He's going to be in their starting rotation next year, as he has been the last 2 years. A lot of promise as he starts to develop in his major league career. Change-ups play these days, no question. He's got a great one.
It's a great equalizer for that fastball. When you get hitters gearing up for that 97, 96 up in the zone, to be able to pull that string, it's a weapon.
2-2. Fry with a big swing.
You all right?
Olson out of the Atlanta area, over there in Franchi territory.
That's right.
North Hall High School in Gainesville, Georgia.
10 minutes down the road from me.
Is that right? Just down the road.
Just down the road.
Just a conversation away. Jam shot. Got in on his hands. Got to get to first. Olson races to the bag and beats him there for the first, make it the second out. 3-1 on the putout. Hey, be a part of history by helping select the 2024 All-MLB team. It's presented by MGM Rewards. Vote today for the players you believe had the best performance this season. Terms and conditions apply. MLB.com/AllMLB for details. Jose Ramirez will certainly be a popular vote. Ramirez is 0 for 2. Put a ball in play in the first. They got the scoring started.
I was going to say, we got to put an asterisk next to that 0 for 2.
I did write it in pencil.
I wrote mine double.
It
I'm
did
giving
look
him
like
a double.
Did look like a double, but you know, I'm sure McKinstry would tell you a play he's got to make, at least knock down. I don't know where his out was going to be, though.
And that's why I said, okay, if you want to give him a, I don't know, single and an error that you didn't.
Infield hit error scores the run.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I just.
Well, they didn't ask us.
He wasn't beating him to third, and Ramirez, obviously with stolen bases, you know, he's a good runner. He was going to beat it to first.
Yeah. A foul ball. Ramirez sends it into the seats. This was the first inning, and this is what got the wheels going. Looked like it hit the bag initially, but it actually had so much topspin. It hit the ground and just ate up McKinstry over at third base.
And again, you had Kwan running, so he's not beating Kwan to third base right there. So you're telling me he was going to throw Ramirez all the way out?
Every pitcher is upset at us right now. Fly ball, right center. Glass is on. Vierling a little wobbly, but he makes a play. And Reese Olson keeps pitching well. 3 up, 3 down. Goes to the top of the Cleveland batting order. This is brought to you by Geico. And brought to you by T-Mobile, America's largest and fastest 5G network. Tanner Bybee has been on his game after a shaky first inning. He got out of the first stranding 2. He has been excellent. First ball swinging. Sweeney into right center, and Big Christmas runs it down. John Kinsey Noel.
Well, and they do a great job with him. He plays so deep. If you actually see on this ball, he's about 5 steps from the warning track, BA. But as talking to a couple of the coaches, he really can come in well with some makeup speed. So they're going to play him deep and try to keep everything in front.
1 pitch, 1 out. Here's Jake Rogers. Tigers have been in ambush mode the last 2 innings, 4 straight before that take by Rogers.
See, look how deep he is. See that? About 5 steps, but for him, coming in is where his strength is and makes a good play.
He's a converted infielder. Third baseman, has a great arm, does Noel. That's a platoon in right field. Guardians platoon their DH spot and their right field position. And if you're wondering why Noel was in the lineup against a left-handed opener, even though Stephen Vogt says we set our lineup based on the starter, knowing he probably wouldn't be around for Noel, that's why. That was an interesting response to all of the quote-unquote chaos that A.J. Hinch tries to drum up. A.J. even said it. It's not, I say chaos because it is. It has that appearance. I know exactly what I want to do, when I want to do it, the pockets of players in the lineup that I want particular pitchers facing. But Stephen Vogt just rolled his lineup out there as if Tyler Holden was going to be the starter and the continuer as an opener. That's a swing and a miss. Curveball. Bybee breaks out a big looping curve at 78 miles an hour and gets a strikeout for the second out of the inning.
It does not throw it often. He's going with that slider more for strikeout, but you can see here that Rogers got him out front. Got great depth to it. See, out in front.
Top of the order. And a strike to Parker Meadows. Cade Smith preparing to enter. Stephen Vogt will have no concerns about unleashing his terrific bullpen. Smith is usually the first one deployed. That's a liner into center field, down for a base hit. Thomas playing deep out there, and Parker Meadows has a 2-out single. Speed on the bags. And here comes the first inflection point for the first-year skipper.
Well, if you want to know what he's thinking, 4 2/3 PA, and you're coming out to get him. He does not want to let the Tigers even have a breath here or even think they can get back in this game.
Bybee's upset. but he exits to a standing ovation.
Third inning for this Cleveland Guardians team. Got it off to a great start with that changeup, but Meadows had that changeup working really well today, of course, the slider. And after that first inning, really got a lot of confidence in that fastball, had it down, and you can see pumping up the fans. He is gassed up and 4 2/3. And you know what, for Stephen Vogt, with the off day tomorrow and the best pen, man, this is he can take it like an elimination game. He told us that these first 2 games, you can unload them.
I love that shot right there of Bybee waiting for Vogt to return from the mound, give him a big hug. Cade Smith has been one of the most dominant relievers in the game, could be closing for almost every other team in Major League Baseball, except for this one with Emmanuel Clase down there. Kerry Carpenter, 1 out of 2 against Bybee, their best hitter, the Tigers, against the right-handed pitchers. And Stephen Vogt squashes that bug quickly. Wants to get all his relievers in. Wants to show them off to the world in this postseason. Best bullpen in the big leagues, and Smith gets out of the inning.
Hey, buddy, need some help?
Booking.com. Game 1 of this best-of-5 DS. 2 American League rivals, American League Central Division rivals, the Guardians and the Tigers. These 2 franchises have played over 2,300 games in their franchise's history. This is the first time they've ever met in a postseason game. Short drive from Detroit. A few Tigers fans have made their way in. Guardians got 5 runs in the first inning before there was an out recorded. And that's still our score. Josh Naylor starts it, and Reese Olson back on the mound. Be interesting to see how these 2 managers now work the pitching the rest of the way in a 5-0 game. Olson has been good, coming off a 3-up 3-down inning, and that is a fair ball. Naylor is out. Did he call it a foul or not? Home plate umpire is saying he didn't. Adam Beck.
Yeah.
And the base umpire, who has the call on that, clearly called it fair.
Oh, I think Naylor, is he thinking to hit him on the foot?
I see. Yeah, no, I missed him.
I think he thinks it hit him on the foot. I mean,
he knew he was going to be out, so he sold it.
I can't blame him. I give him credit. It's not a bad call.
Torkelson there to make the play.
Save some running.
That's 7 in a row now. Retired, make it 8 straight if Meadows puts this one away, and Reese Olson is cooking right now. Naylor and Lane Thomas retired. 2 quick outs in this 5th inning.
Funny enough, watching Reese Olson right now, right? Giving your manager something to think about if there's a game 4.
Yep.
You know, he's pitched brilliantly, man.
The one thing he won't be thinking about is the question that is inevitably coming: why didn't you just start Reese Olson?
Yeah, and again, like you said, you know, I get passionate about this sometimes. If someone hasn't done it all year and then they do it here, but this is what the Tigers have done. So it has worked. It just did not work today.
Ty Madden continuing to loosen in the Tigers bullpen. Any sign of trouble, you figure he's in.
It's got him off balance. Had a great changeup. You just saw that off-speed pitch, and then the fastball has played today.
It's nice. 25 years of age, year 2 in the big leagues. Drafted by the Brewers. Came to the Tigers in a trade, and he has put together another 3-up 3-down inning. 9 in a row for Olson. That was a 7-pitch frame. It's
Where dreams are made of tonight on TBS. Yankees and Royals renew their rivalry from the 70s and the 80s. Game 1 first pitch at 6:30 Eastern tonight in the Bronx. We will take you there. Let's take a look at our DraftKings same game parlay. We've hit 2 of 3 so far. All you have to do is download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and sign up with the promo code HEAT. BA, Frenchie's paying, so do it now.
always, he's heavily involved. Thank you, Lauren. Always great to see those in the studio as well. We welcome Dusty Baker back to our postseason coverage. He's done it before.
And I got to say, Dusty, I think showed those guys up with his suit today. I thought he looked fantastic.
Kind of like I did you today. Dusty and I are the winners. Everybody knows it. Great job of the studio. Be with you all postseason long. And Bob Costas, Ron Darling, JP Morosi will have the call for you from the Bronx tonight. Royals and Yankees. Kate Smith looking nasty right now. He struck out Carpenter last inning, gets Vierling to start the 6th. And if you're Stephen Vogt right now, Frenchie, play manager here, what's your path to the finish line with your great bullpen at this point?
It's so funny because you can look at it from his point of view, right? You haven't played since last Saturday. It's been a week. So yes, these guys are high leverage guys, and he said it, I'm playing it like an elimination game. So you look at him, you got to believe Heron, you got to believe Gaddis, and you got to believe he wants to get Clase in the game there to end it. So I think that's one way to look at it, but it's also funny because you can look at it from AJ Hinch as you see another foul ball here. I want my guys to see their high leverage guys. Even though we might not come back and win this game, and I go back last year, the Phillies Diamondbacks, the more the Diamondbacks saw the Phillies hitters, eventually they were able to get to Alvarado and those guys, and they beat them in 6 and 7 because of it. So I see both sides.
Stephen Vogt's response to that is, I want them to see these guys. I want to demoralize them for the rest of the postseason because these guys have been so dominant. Cade Smith and Hunter Gaddis have come out of nowhere this year. Look at the numbers, the Ks, 75+ innings, 103 strikeouts. He's faced 2 batters here today and has 2 Ks already. 40% strikeout rate on his fastball. There's Heron. He's another big part of the story, the big lefty.
And I think that's the thing, right? Everybody wants to talk about the closer, and for good reason. He's got a 100-mile-per-hour cutter, but when you dig into the numbers of the 3 guys we just showed you, not only that, but the runners in scoring position, inherited runners, anything like that, they all dominate.
The rookie Smith in his first postseason, and he is impressive. 3 batters faced, 3 strikeouts. He gets Green on the splitter that time. Just dies.
Now, leaving AJ Hinch, you remember this morning talking about the pinch hitting, when you're going to do it. He said you got to do it early because if you get to 6 innings and you're behind, it might not matter who you send up there to the plate.
Swing and a miss. Colt Keith out in front of that splitter. He throws a splitter 90 miles an hour.
Appreciate you,
He is a future closer in the making.
Now they lead the bullpen and everything. ERA, runs allowed, average against, whip.
25-year-old from Canada, from Abbotsford.
Go, baby. You good? You want a second? You want me to give you a
Raced through
second?
the minor league system. Was a starter early in his minor league career, Smith, but then they moved him to the bullpen. Finally got a chance in the big leagues this year at age 25. Once he figured it out, it was a quick rise to the big leagues when he put it all together. Three batters faced, 3 Ks. He's got Colt Keith down 1 and 2.
And that's that high velocity fastball. He's got 81 strikeouts out of his 103 on that pitch. I get it. This is a pitch that hitters are preparing for. It's not like he's got 5 pitches. There are numerous times these guys are like there. Here comes the heater, and they still can't get to it.
Always been a big strikeout pitcher. Averaged 12 Ks per 9 this season in the big leagues. And he's got another one. 4 up, 4 down, 4 Ks. That time on the big fastball at 97. Cade Smith has arrived in the MLB postseason. One of the best weapons a manager has. Guardians jumped on him with 5 in the first. Tigers have settled it down since. Now they make their second pitching change of the day. Ty Madden making his postseason debut. Tall Texan. The University of Texas, the former Longhorn, will follow up Reese Olson, who went 5 impressive innings. First pitch he ever threw in the playoffs. He gave up a 3-run homer to Lane Thomas, but settled down after that and retired 9 in a row, 12 out of 13. John Kenzie Noel leading off for the Guardians, 0 for 2 today. Big slugger out of the Dominican Republic.
I'm out.
Noel with 13 home runs in the regular season. And 28 runs batted in. Came up midway through the summer. Rafael Noel. If John Kenzie Lauren Jabara is Big Christmas, do we call him Papa Christmas?
I think so. It's a really special day for Big Christmas. His dad is here in the U.S. for the first time. He just got his visa this week, and this is the first time his dad, Rafael Noel, has been able to be here in Cleveland watching his son play stateside. So do we call him Papa Christmas
like it.
at this point? But really special moment for him, guys. Has to be.
Very cool. What a moment. Special moment to see his son in the playoffs.
Yeah. That's gotta be emotional. And when you see your son out here living out his dream, and this fans and this atmosphere like this, pretty cool.
That one bounces in. Noel draws the walk. I'm sure some nerves are flowing here for Ty Madden. Papa Noel approves. John Kenzie is aboard with a leadoff walk in the 6th.
There's no crying in baseball or with the Capital One Venture Card because it lets you earn unlimited double miles on every purchase every day. Let's play ball.
It's been a theme for the Guardians today. They've had their lead man on in 4 of the 6 innings today. And Bo Naylor, the switch hitting catcher, takes a strike. Naylor 0 for 2. Left-handed hitting catcher, I should say. Got a ground out and a strikeout. Tigers went with an opener with Tyler Holton and did not record it out. Gave up 2 hits. It was an error. 4 runs, 3 earned, a walk, no strikeouts. Gunther loosening in the Tigers bullpen. Sean Gunther is a big part of their leverage relievers, but I think A.J. Hinch would tell you that all their pitchers are leverage relievers. They've all been used in every situation you can think of.
But this is where the whole idea of getting that first hitter has kind of backfired today for him. You let Noel on base. Righty's hitting 222 off Madden. What are lefties hitting? 326. So now with the lefty here, of course, switch hitter on deck, you're forced now for 2 guys, BA, to have him face their strength on the left side. So they go to get that first guy out, and they've not done it 4 out of 6 times today.
Naylor skies one. Back in the grass is Keith. He'll give way to Veerling. Out number 1. Naylor is retired. Back to first goes Noel. Hey, Play Ball is baseball's global youth initiative. It highlights the fun and accessible ways to play our great game. To learn more, including how to find a league near you, go to playball.org. Follow Play Ball on X, Facebook, and Instagram. One away for Brian Rocchio, switch hitting shortstop. You do wonder, and it's 5-0. It's not out of reach, but against the Guardians bullpen, it feels more than a 5-run deficit. And if you're A.J. Hinch, you're trying to get some pitchers at the bottom of your bullpen experience in the playoffs. You're going to need everybody. Both managers and organizations deciding to go with 12 pitchers, 14 position players. You can carry no more than 13 pitchers in the postseason. So they've gone 1 short of that in the division series in a best-of-5. with multiple off days, 3 of them as a matter of fact, if it goes the distance.
Well, I think you can watch games 1 of the American League today and watch games 1 of the National League, and it will be managed a little bit different because of that off day tomorrow. As Stephen Vogt told us, it's like an elimination game.
Yeah.
You can throw whoever you want. If it's 5-0 right now and the Tigers are playing tomorrow, it might be managed a little bit different.
Series will resume here in Cleveland Monday. And then another day off to travel to Detroit for 2 games, Wednesday, Thursday, and then if it goes 5, back here to Cleveland. Tigers have the likely Cy Young Award winner in the American League, Tarik Skubal, set up to pitch Game 2 Monday night. He is also set up to pitch Game 5. And you play it as a series. Probables for Game 2 Monday night. We'll have it for you. It's Monday afternoon, actually. We'll have it for you here on TBS. Tarik Skubal against Matthew Boyd, the former Tiger. Alex Cobb slated to pitch Game 3. That's big news here in Cleveland, coming back from injury after they acquired him from the Giants. That's a called strike 3. Rocchio strikes out. Madden picks up his first K. 2 outs in the inning, still a runner at first.
That was an impressive pitch right there. Spun this one nice here and froze him. You can see bottom part of the zone. Rogers frames it beautifully. And I'll tell you what, if you're AJ Hinch, even if you lose this game, you got to sleep pretty well tomorrow night knowing who you have pitching Monday.
Yeah, at least twice if you can go to a Game 5. For Cleveland, they know they've got to wrap up this series quick. In 4 at the latest, with Skubal looming in Game 5. He was so impressive in 6 brilliant innings in the first game of that wild card series against the Astros. Alex Cobb made it back. Was dealing with injuries. Simulated game last week, and he's good to go for a Game 3 start.
Oh. Yeah, what he had a simulated game last week and then threw another one, I think on Thursday, was kind of his final test. And according to a bunch of the Guardian staff, he was spinning that knuckle curve and everything looked really good. So as you see, that's why he's going to get that start.
He gets a road start. The veteran.
Kind of lines up well for that too, doesn't it? Having that road. I mean, Detroit's going to be insane when we go there to have a guy like that that has been around.
Can't wait to get there. Fan base is hungry to see a team advance in this postseason. Tigers a bit of a surprise to be here if you just judge on the last 2 months of the season. If you go back to spring training, the Guardians, one of the surprise teams in Major League Baseball, but once they got rolling, it started to make real sense that they were going to be a formidable team in the American League once these relievers started to lock in. Stephen Kwan, 1 out of 2 today with a walk and a double. Noel, the runner at first, will take off. 3-2 pitch is a ball. And Kwan is aboard for the 3rd time. Second walk given up by Madden. And a visit to the mound by the excellent pitching coach Chris Fetter. TNT Sports on True TV is here. It's bringing you action from some of your favorite leagues. You can watch live games, original shows, and more. It's your new destination for sports moments. Watch every night starting at 6 p.m. Eastern on True TV.
It's funny how this is working out, BA. Madden gets those 2 lefties, right? Or lefty switch hitter. So he lets him face Kwan, right? Instead of bringing the lefty in. And now, of course, Kwan gets on, so you're stuck, of course, with Madden facing Fry now because the lefty's in the bullpen. So I think that's what makes this series so just interesting is the chess match that AJ Hinch and Stephen Vogt are going to play in this series.
Always discussions and watching these managers work with their coaching staff. And listening to these managers in the meetings before the games, how they're thinking about each game, each series, different windows in the lineup for their particular pitchers.
It's so funny because you got two other interdivision matchups, right? The Mets and the Phillies. They just played the second to last week of the season. Dodgers, Padres, if you remember, the last week of the season. Ronnie did that game out there. And then, of course, these two teams haven't played since the trade deadline.
Yeah, and they had a bunch of matchups in that window. I think it was 7 games in 10 days.
Yes.
And there was a lot of matchups between the Guardians and the Tigers.
1-2.
Head-to-head this year. Cleveland won the season series 7-6. But so many new players to the Tigers mix since that time. Tigers were a totally different team prior to the trade deadline. Two the count. 2 outs in the Cleveland 6th inning. A 5-run first for the Guardians. Madden deals. Ate him up. Big fastball from Ty Madden. Madden was a starter in the minor leagues. He's only made 1 start in the big leagues. 6 games in the regular season in his first year. He was just drafted in the 22 season. Fast riser in the organization. 2-2 pitch. Another foul ball. We'll do it again.
We might get one. Foul balls are perfect range.
Did you bring your glove?
No, I got great hands.
Oh boy. Throw that football over a mountain too, couldn't you, Uncle Rico?
That's right.
2-2. Pulls it foul. Fry get him a tough at bat here. You'll see at least 8 pitches. Back-to-back sliders. See what Madden has in mind. 2 on, 2 out. And Fry down the line. That is a fair ball into the corner. It goes. Noel will score. Here comes Kwan. Cutoff and relay, not in time. 2 RBI double. David Fry. 7-0 Cleveland.
Yeah, he had seen this slider cutter now numerous times. You saw him just get out in front of the one before. And right here you see it stays up in the zone and he hooks it right down the line. And what a beautiful piece of hitting. And if you think about it, BA, in Houston, Detroit kind of controlled the series. They controlled the lead. They played either from the lead or tied. And now all of a sudden here, they're kind of playing from behind some. And the Guardians are making them pay.
And will be the last batter that Ty Madden faces. He will exit. 2 runs in. Jose Ramirez coming up. And A.J. Hinch going to Sean Gunther, the lefty in the bullpen. 6:30 Eastern on TBS and Max. And then Joe Davis, John Smoltz, Ken Rosenthal for Padres Dodgers later tonight on FS1. Sean Gunther will take over. They just intentionally walked Jose Ramirez to get to Josh Naylor. So Gunther gets the matchup against Naylor with 2 men aboard now.
Yeah, you see fans didn't like it too much in a 7-0 game, wanting to see their superstar hit, but I think the other 29 managers would have done the exact same thing.
A.J. Hinch walked Jose Ramirez in a July game 3 times in a game intentionally. Not afraid. Naylor on the ground, backhanded by Torkelson, and he hits Gunther. Nice throw over there to Gunther, covering the bag, and the inning is over. But 2 big runs come in. David Fry, the DH. 2 hits and a walk today. Afternoon, Guardians up 7-0 in the first game of the series. And Frenchie, it's Tim Herron, one of their big weapons, their left-handed weapon in the bullpen. He gets the 7th here, facing Spencer Torkelson to start the inning.
Let me tell you, the big lefty, one of the best curveballs in baseball. Opponents batting 137 and, of course, 45 Ks on that pitch. Just, as you said, a kind of an embarrassment of weapons of what the Guardians have down in that bullpen, and this is just another one here.
Franchise record for bullpen ERA this year. Stephen Vogt, in his first year as manager, could not have been handed a better pen with which to manage. His trusty pitching coach Carl Willis next to him. Taking over for Terry Francona. Tito taking the Reds job. That was big news a couple of days ago. Welcome back to the big league managerial seat. Terry Francona, one of the legends of this game.
I hope you enjoyed your 8 months of retirement, right, Tito?
He's got to be in the game. And it'll be fun to watch the Guardians and the Reds match up for Ohio in that interleague rivalry. Stephen Vogt, 92 wins in his first year as a skipper. That's third in franchise history. Tris Speaker, Al Lopez, and Tito tied with Tito. There's 92 wins. A swing at him is Heron with the strikeout. Foul tip into the glove of Naylor, says home plate umpire Adam Beck, and a strikeout. That is 5 consecutive Ks for Cleveland relievers. On this day, Frenchie, we take you back the 2013 American League Division Series. Stephen Vogt with a walk-off. One of his signature moments of a playing career. He was a 2-time All-Star. Just always a steady presence, no matter where he was.
My favorite was him telling us what he did the first 3 at-bats of that game.
Always focusing on the negative. Yeah, he faced Justin Verlander, right? Punched out 3 times. They pop up into foul grounds. Naylor fighting the sun, makes a catch. A little snow cone there, but he made the play. That was Andy Ibanez pinch hitting, by the way. Hitting for Zach McKinstry.
Yeah, he wants to get Ibanez in there, of course, face this lefty. If you remember, he's the one that had the big hit off Josh Hader to send them here to Cleveland.
Kader Montero loosening in the Tiger pen, added to the postseason roster after the wild card series. Sweeney fouls it away. Heron with a big fastball. Shadows become a challenge this time of day as well. Note the shadows currently. Monday's game will be getting started about this time, and those first few innings Monday against Tarek Skubal is going to be a nightmare. It's a nightmare anyway.
I was going to say, it's a nightmare to begin with.
If you haven't watched Skubal, get ready for it. It's a treat. Heron locks him up, 3 up, 3 down with a couple of Ks. 7-0 Cleveland. There's an out recorded in this game, a 5-run first. They added 2 more on the David Fry 2 RBI double in the 6th. It is 7-0. Guardians pitching has been outstanding. Starters, 2 relievers, Brian Anderson with Jeff Francoeur, Lauren Jabara as well. And if you're the Guardians, this could not have gone better from the very first inning.
It's been a party here in Cleveland. But, you know, you think about it, Bybee was able to get out of that first inning with first and second, and then the offense just started right off the bat. I mean, those guys, Quan with that double, who had been out, and of course Lane Thomas, his first postseason at bat as a Guardian, 3-run homer. So, you know what, at the end of the day, the Guardians have done what, you know, they wanted to do, and now they got that bullpen out there.
Time for more baseball presented by Geico. Tanner Bybee, he went 4 2/3. It's the way the modern game is. He was dealing, waiting for his manager to come back in a full embrace, and the offense lit it up early. Lane Thomas, first ever playoff game. Big pickup by the Guardians from the Nationals via trade, and that was the first pitch he saw. Knocked it out of here, capped off a 5-run inning. Andy Ibanez will stand to play third. And the new pitcher, Frenchie, added to the Division Series roster, Kader Montero.
Yeah, one thing they love about this guy, obviously good movement on that fastball, see if it can really spin it. And as you said, this is the one change. Montero got put on and Casey Mize got taken off.
Montero's been a starter this year for the most part for the Tigers, getting him some playoff activity. Lane Thomas, a game he will never forget. 15 home runs during the regular season, 3-run home run to jumpstart this Guardians offense today. Guardians' magic number is 4. When they score 4, they rarely lose. And they rarely lose when they have a lead after 6. 71-2 this year. They won 71 of 73 games when they have a lead after 6, as Thomas pops it up. Out number 1 here in the 7th.
And that's impressive, right? Like, we know, okay, I said 82-0 after 8 innings, you got the best closer. But to think after 6 innings, how many times?
9 outs.
That's what I'm saying. How many times you see teams give up that in a 2-week span? Much less, as you can see, that's why these teams knew. To me, the Guardians, if they get that lead by the 6th, they feel like, man, it's lights out. Reminds me so much of that Royals team with Wade Davis, Kelvin Herrera, and Greg Holland at the back end. Those 3 guys in 14 and 15, just, you were down, it felt over.
Montero, and a swing and a miss by Jimenez. Another playoff debut here. This is a familiar theme. We should probably start announcing those who have actually played in the postseason before, but there are playoff debuts aplenty for the Detroit Tigers. So many new names, new faces. Montero in his rookie season at age 23. 19 games, 16 of those were starts. Had 3 straight postseason debuts on the mound of 3 out of 4. There's big Hunter Gaddis. Another of the weapons.
Yeah, if you're these Tigers hitters, you're saying, come on, man.
Yeah, give me a
7-0. Let's go to that mid-level leverage reliever.
Jimenez takes a ball.
Again, this is part of the deal, right? When you haven't played in a week, and I think that's what Stephen Vogt is saying. I don't care if they see my guys got to get out there and pitch in a game.
Got to feel these playoffs. Now you can kind of settle into a series, not quite the sprint that the 3-gamer was, and a swing and a miss. Montero with a strikeout of Jimenez. His first K, 2 outs in the inning.
With so many choices across the U.S., find Boston hotels even Yankees fans could love.
Venezuela native, homegrown pitcher for the Tigers. Kader Montero signed at the age of 16. Big swing by Noel. Noel with a walk and a run scored last inning. And Montero coming right at him. Tigers as a team, a philosophy of strike throwing. They are on the attack with their pitching staff. You'll see that in a more robust way come Monday night with Tarek Skubal on the mound. But they believe in going after hitters with strikes. And that's easy to say, and you'd say, well, why doesn't every team do that? And I think that's the goal of every team. But
yeah, but
you also want to stay on the edges and avoid the middle of the strike zone. But these pitchers here, they have thrived just challenging hitters. It can blow up in a big way, as we saw in the first inning, but they're going to throw strikes. And a swing and a miss. And a nice debut in the postseason for Kader Montero. 3 up, 3 down, 2 Ks. 7-0. We go to the season underway on TBS. Great to have all of you with us as we kick off a tremendous day of baseball, postseason baseball on TBS and Fox and FS1. First of 4 games today. American League will take tomorrow off. National League will have the stage tomorrow, and then we'll be back here for game 2 Monday. Jake Rogers will lead the way for Detroit. 7-0 is our score. Guardians got 5 in the first, 2 in the 6th. And Guardians pitching living up to the billing thus far as Herron starts his 2nd inning of work.
I'm shocked Gaddis didn't come in just to start the inning. Here, I know you got a plethora of lefties coming up, but in a 7-0 game.
And it's ball 4, so Rogers draws a walk. That snaps a run of 7 straight retired by Guardians relievers. Started with Cade Smith. And now Naylor on his way to the mound. Going to be a pinch hitter here. So A.J. Hinch going to his bench right now. Justin Henry Malloy is going to get the at-bat. Might send us to a pitching change. Chance to remind you, though, don't miss The Franchise, a new HBO original comedy series. It follows the crew of an unloved franchise movie while unveiling the secret chaos and absurdities of superhero movie making. The Franchise premieres this Sunday, 10 p.m. only on Max.
Even in a 7-0 game, you can see both managers deploying the matchups, and here we go.
Hey, it's managerial practice. Stephen Vogt in his first postseason game. Once the pinch hitter was announced, now he is bringing on Gaddis. Terms and conditions apply. MLB.com/AllMLB for details. So it's going to be Winsel Perez to be the 2nd pinch hitter. Justin Henry Malloy, the decoy.
Good game.
In a 7-0 game. And it's going to be Hunter Gaddis, and we're all excited to see what Hunter Gaddis is going to do this postseason.
Well, just another one of those weapons we talk about in that bullpen down there. 66 Ks, you see. Only 14 base on balls.
Gaddis misses with his first offering. Gaddis is another guy that has emerged to be a real weapon in the bullpen.
And it's funny, BA, because you heard A.J. Hinch before the game talk about some of these relievers. It doesn't matter, lefty, righties. And Gaddis is a perfect example. Righties hitting a $160 off him. Well, lefties hitting 172. So pick your poison.
In his first postseason as well. 3rd year in the major leagues, Gaddis. But getting a chance in a prominent role in the postseason. 6'6" right-hander out of Georgia State. Was a starter in the minor leagues and was a starter even in the big leagues. Winsel Perez, fly ball to center field. And it's Thomas who puts it away for the out. First out of the inning. One away, runner at first for Kerry Carpenter. Carpenter had a single in the first inning. The Tigers had a threat in the first. 2 on against Tanner Bybee, but they could not score. There was a line out to end the inning. Bybee went 4 2/3 scoreless. Cade Smith comes on. He retired 4 straight batters he faced, all strikeouts. Inning and a third for him, and then Herron worked across multiple innings as well. Now Gaddis.
Tell you what, too, I don't know if these shadows are starting to creep in a little bit, but Carpenter got that hit to start the first inning there, and since then he's seen a lot of fastballs. He struck out the last 2 ABs, but high velocity fastballs.
On the ground, hit firmly, but right at Jimenez. And he'll start a double play. Naylor hung in there, toe on the bag. Guardians turn their 2nd double play of the game. Inning is over. Gaddis comes in, cleans it up. The great voice of the Cleveland Guardians, Tom Hamilton. What a legend. One of my all-time favorites, 35 years in the booth. And he is a finalist for the Ford Frick Award, which is the Hall of Fame for baseball broadcasters. And we wish him the best of luck. He's a joy to be around. Tigers Radio, Dan Dickerson, one of the great ones as well, sitting right next door. Jim Rosenhaus there with Tom Hamilton. They do a terrific job on Guardians Radio. We love coming here to Cleveland. A pop-up by Bo Naylor, and there is out number 1. Defensive changes here for the Tigers. Winsel Perez comes in to play right field, which moves Matt Vierling to center field. There's Matt. 7-0 game, bottom 8. We don't have to listen for Tom Hamilton through the headsets. You can just hear him with the naked ear when he gets loud, and it was loud in here. That is ripped down the right field line. Into the corner it goes, as Rocchio will stop at second base with a ringing double. Brian Rocchio with his first hit of the ball game.
That's got to feel good. You always want to get that one out of the way. He was 0 for 3 on the day. He gets pitch in the zone here. Let's see, fastball right where you like it, down in that zone where you can drop the bat head, and turns on it beautifully. No one more, obviously. There's defense to be out there. Great double play tandem with Jimenez there at second. But can hit a little bit too.
Yeah, no question. In his first postseason. Stephen Kwan takes a ball inside. Montero, you would imagine A.J. Hinch trying to get 2 innings out of him if the score hangs on, if there's not a miraculous comeback by the Tigers in the 9th. Last Indians at bat you'll have to pick up, and you finish with Montero. You get some guys who don't have postseason experience, some innings in the books in the postseason, guys like Reese Olson and Ty Madden, and now Kader Montero. And you turn it over to Tarek Skubal on Monday to try to get you back even in the series, going back home to Detroit for game 3. That would be the A.J. Hinch plan at this point.
Now they're going to have their hands full of Skubal, but that's, you talk about Kwan, Fry, Ramirez.
Fly ball into left field, and Green puts it away for the out.
But before that, out right there, they had reached base in 8 out of 12 appearances today, and so that's something they got to keep them off the base pass.
There's Tarek Skubal. He gets a game 2 start. He could go game 2 and 5 if it goes that far on regular rest. Tanner Bybee would get game 1 and 4 on regular rest. Kyle Manzardo, his first postseason at bat. He is a big part of the DH combo, the number 2 spot in the lineup. Manzardo or Fry, depending on the handedness of the pitcher.
And you might say, hey, Fry had a double against the righty last time. I think this is one of those scenarios too for Stephen Vogt. Wants to get Manzardo in there. His first postseason too. Give him a chance to get an AB.
And down he goes. Inning is over, and we head to the 9th. Clase La Cabra, the GOAT. He is something else. This is the alpha dog among big league closers right here. Top of the food chain, Frenchie, Emmanuel Clase.
Well, you know what you're going to get. You get a cutter at 100 miles per hour coming at you about 78% of the time, and the other time you're getting a slider at about 91, 92. One of the most dominant closers in baseball, and a reason that Cleveland feels great about their chances, as we've seen so far from this bullpen.
It does not pitch in 7-0 games very often, but the Guardians have been sitting for a week waiting to get their postseason started, and the first one spikes in the dirt. Bo Naylor back there fighting for his life.
Well, you think about it. He hadn't pitched in at least a week, like you said. Get him in here, get him. Dig into the numbers. He had a .80 before the All-Star break. After the All-Star break, .3.
They got better. Got better as the season went on. Been an All-Star each of the last 3 years. He's only 26. And baseball's most dominant closer. He just powers up Matt Vierling. 101 mile an hour cutter as it is officially booked. Nobody like him. Oh, did it again. A strikeout to start his day.
It's not even cutting. It's just going right by you at 101. It's unbelievable.
It's almost like a backup cutter.
It really is.
Like it came out of his fingers different than it normally does, and it still comes out at 101. That's the one he was looking for. He just explodes the bat of Riley Green. 2 men are out.
How many bats he's broke this year? You think they keep track of that?
Every lefty.
To show you how hard this is, BA, you know what's coming. He's cheating here. He's getting started early and still just shatters his bat. Talking about an all-star hitter right there.
You don't throw out Mariano Rivera often as a comparison, but he's the closest thing since. 2 quick outs here in the 9th. Colt Keith trying to keep his bat intact. Stephen Vogt deployed his bullpen in the 5th inning with 2 outs. And they have dominated. From Cade Smith to Tim Herron to Gaddis and now to Clase. Tigers down to their last out. Fly ball left field. Quan is under it, and the Cleveland Guardians put game 1 in the books. Clase finishes it out. Largest shutout win in a postseason game in Guardians franchise history. Tanner Bybee got it started 4 2/3 innings, and the bullpen did the rest. There was only 1 walk. Bullpen faced the minimum as they finish it off with 4 1/3 brilliant innings.
And that's what I marked down. 4 1/3, 0 hits, 7 Ks, 1 walk for this bullpen. You knew the strength of this team. You can talk about starting pitching all you want. You can talk about offense. But for this team right here, for the Guardians, you're seeing the strength, and they flexed it today. And I'll tell you what, Detroit, of course, tough one for them today. But on their side, you got your ace going on Monday. But today was all Guardians.
So the Tigers, after sweeping the Astros, dropped the first one. And the Guardians are shaking hands. And 2 wins away from advancing to the American League Championship Series. They hold serve.